Well, there's the 10-kilometre board now. A little group trying to get off the front. Paul, there's only 90 riders here of the 132 starters, so we've left a few behind on Mengler's Hill.
Well, one man not left behind there, you can see, is one of Lance Armstrong's teammates. They're trying to make sure they're all over these little moves off the front end of the main field this afternoon. I have a feeling, Phil, that the new team Radio Shack are going to try doing something rather special at the Santos Tour Down Under this year.
Well, they've got a very good sprinter in Gert Steegmans. He's come across as they now line up towards the finish. But Seppelt's Fine Winery is a must-see destination in South Australia's Barossa Valley. It was formed by Joseph Seppelt in 1851 when he moved from Silesia, and we know that as Poland. He established a village, planted vineyards and named an area after himself. And visitors can tour through the winery, they can watch the cooper make wine barrels, and of course they can sample a drop from its famous fortified cellar doors. Doesn't that look good? Back out on the road now, the riders more interested on who's going to take this out at the end of the first stage of the Santos Tour Down Under. Tanunda is just down the road. An attack here by the former Aussie champion Matt Wilson.
Well, Matt Wilson, a very aggressive rider. We've seen him on a number of occasions go off the front of bike races like this, even in places like the Tour of Ireland. Now, this could be a little bit of a spanner in the works for the sprinters. They've got to get themselves organised. Otherwise, a last-minute burst like this could create the surprise.
Well, there's the peloton, and the lime green jerseys there are the Liquigas squad. They've got sprinters on the test team here. Also the yellow and black of HTC Columbia. They've got Greipel, of course. And looking down, I don't see too much evidence of the Sky squad down there just yet.
Well, this is the man leading the race. You can see still holding on to about a 10 or 15 second advantage. I would think if he looks over his shoulder, he will catch a glimpse of the shadow of the main field, who are now getting themselves organised.
Well, the one thing about the run in here to the finish in Tanunda, it is a long, long straight road, and you really can't get away from the field. And I think that's what Matt Wilson has thought. He's made his move. He can't keep that sort of pace up with the peloton now winding him in. A lot of evidence there now from the yellow and black jerseys of HTC Columbia.
Well, they're waiting again. Another move coming. This Garmin team here, Phil, this year are really trying to be extremely aggressive. I think this is Jack Bobridge. It was in this race last year that he made a name for himself and caught the eye of riders like, of course, Lance Armstrong, who thought this was a great new star being born for Australian cycling.
Well, Jack said this morning he was going to take it easy today, but he lives in South Australia. He'll be inspired by the home crowd, and he's making a move. He is the under-23 World Time Trial Champion, so he's at his best when he's alone against the watch, but he's got about 89, 90 riders chasing him just at the moment. They'll soon be lining up for the long straight finish. He's opened up a gap. He really has got a lot of power, this rider.
Well, that's a good gap. You see the main field now splitting up two sides of organisation. The teams of the sprinters now are trying to keep the pace nice and high. That's not a very big main field. In fact, there's only around about 90 riders left in it. That's not the kilometre banner just yet. We've got to get right into the heart of town here. But I'll tell you one thing, Jack Bobridge is looking like a man determined here to steal the glory away from the sprinters this afternoon.
Well, this is a long straight road now. Bobridge wisely keeping under the trees there, hoping they won't see him quite so clearly, but look at that. Through on the inside, they've taken over the pressure, and it looks as though it's Radio Shack.
Radio Shack in the red jerseys on the inside, but they're now being overtaken by Team HTC. But Lance Armstrong is very happy to come to the front end of the main field and here play domestique to his team sprinter Gert Steegmans.
Steegmans coming to the team, hand-picked by Armstrong, and now trying to be guided through to a first win for Radio Shack. They promised a stage win. Will it be today? But look at the action coming through from HTC Columbia. They were beaten by Team Skyer on the right of the road in that black strip at the moment. But watch out now, because as they start to break for the line, it looks as though Radio Shack are setting up Henderson, and they're using their top men, and a good rush too by the Liquigas boys. They're right over the left of the road here. The thing is, they can see the finishing line. It's an awful long way off, and it's slightly uphill.
Well, Liquigas in complete control here. You can see one or two shoulders are starting to bump there. In the second rank there, it's the Sky team that obviously trying to get their man Henderson up there, but the acceleration is starting. Look over on the right-hand side. That's HTC Columbia.
Well, as they start to break for the line now, that is Sabatini from Liquigas, who swung off, and he's looked at the wrong man. Chris Sutton is in front of Henderson. Graham Brown is coming on the left of the field here, and on the far left off our picture, it looks as though Greipel is making a move. Look at the speed of Greipel as he goes over them all. Roelandts looked as though he had it on the right, but Greipel has come through from the left and taken it on the line. That was an incredible sprint.
It certainly was. 20 victories for Andre Greipel last year. Just have a look at the acceleration. Here he is over on the right-hand side. He's a far way down. Lots of bumping and barging on the left-hand side. The red jersey there is Gert Steegmans, but the acceleration, once the turbo kicks in for Andre Greipel, well, no one's going to stop him, are they? A clear bicycle and a half win over everybody else.
And there's the photo finish. It was a long way in front. That was the way to win a sprint. His 6th in history in this event.
Well, Andre, after a practice run on Sunday, today you got it completely great.
Yeah, we were again the lucky workers. We started first to chase them down, and we won the stage. And I mean, it's I think we deserve to.
Well, I reckon that's absolutely right. There was nobody else left for HTC Columbia in that front peloton after the sprint was over. But they did their job and they got their man through. But he did need to come from an awful long way back, and he got over the top there of Gert Steegmans. There's the result. Martin Kohler here in 3rd place. Jurgen Roelandts, Bill Kadri. This is the situation for the ochre jersey. And there it is now being put on the shoulders here of Andre Greipel. He becomes the first leader of the Santos Tour Down Under in the Jayco Sprint. Martin Kohler won them both. 12 points for him. He's the leader of that. He wears the blue jersey on the road tomorrow. 24 years of age, the Swiss rider, and a good start for the BMC team. Tim Rowe did well for South Australia and UniSA. He won the only climb today, so he's the Skoda Mountains leader. He wears this jersey tomorrow as well. It's all too much for him, I think, just now. And this is the cycle instead. Wears it as all of the jerseys worn tomorrow.
Andre Greipel bringing home the HCC Columbia train and doing justice to his time here in Australia. He's been training the house down since his arrival early in the new year, and we saw why today. There may be some withdrawals from the race after that early crash in stage 1. More about that in stage 2 tomorrow. If you missed highlights today, make sure you join us for SBS2 tonight at 8:30. We'll be back for stage 2 tomorrow at 6 o'clock on SBS1. From the team, I'm Mike Tomalaris. On behalf of Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwin, bye for now.